You're going to lose. Got to be different. Hey, our guys, Sean Salisbury, Michael Irvin.
Hey, just so Willie McGinnis knows, I picked Brady to be the MVP and the Patriots to win, too. So no love to Boomer by himself. Adam Vinatieri, Mike, unbelievable performance again.
Oh, you got a guy like that. No matter what happens during the game, you don't doubt. Hey, when the game's on the line, I'm giving this guy an opportunity. We know he will come through and win the game. You heard Tom Brady say, if I just get it down to Adam Vinatieri with the game on the line, he will win it for us.
You know what I love is that most times the kickers are the lonesome ones. When they miss one or two, what do? Well, you stick them on the end of the bench and say, we don't want to talk to you. The New England Patriots want the ball on Adam Vinatieri's foot when the game is on the line. That's exactly what they do. He misses the first one, doesn't go into the tank. The next one was kicked so low, would have hit somebody in the chest, and it did. And Vinatieri continued to battle for the game winner. You want to make sure that your doggone kicker has that confidence, and not one guy on that team doesn't believe, Mike,
They all believe in him. They all believe in him. He's one of the best kickers in the league.
No doubt. And you know what? You want to get him to the final drive so you have an opportunity to do that. And right now, nobody does that better than Tom Brady. This is the final drive. Heading in to Vinatieri's kick. And here's Tom Brady. Rolls out to his left. Maybe as mechanically sound as any quarterback in the league. Squares his shoulders going to his left. And the nice pitch and catch to Troy Brown between two defenders to hold on to it.
He's the biggest player of the game. You watch the wide receiver right here. Deion Brady. Here's the safety. He is the help over the top. So you cannot allow this. You have to get a reroute. Jam this guy. Slow down his release and hopefully mess up the timing. He does not get a jam. Leave him wide open. You give him a play like that, Tom Brady, he hits you every time wide open. We talk about him being very accurate. If you let a guy just run free, it's pitch and catch.
And you've got to be physical. If you don't, Dan, guess what? You end up on the short side of the scoreboard. New England was more physical when it mattered.
Getting that little ring they call a conference championship ring.
You know what? Some of the greatest moments in championship history among Boston's other pro teams. When you think of a John Havlicek steal in Game 7 of the 1965 playoffs against the 76ers, merely advanced the Celtics to the NBA Finals. Bobby Orr's in-flight cup-clinching overtime goal in 1970, that was in Game 6. And Carlton Fisk's 12th inning home run in the 1975 World Series was in Game 6 of that series that the Red Sox would eventually lose. For Adam Vinatieri, 2 Super Bowl game-winning field goals in the game's waning seconds.
Adam, it must have felt like deja vu all over again from 2 years ago. Tell me about that 41-yarder to win it.
I tell you what, most people are never fortunate enough to even have the opportunity once. The fact that the guys played hard again today and had an opportunity to do it again, it's amazing. You know, it's hard to put into words how proud I am of the guys and how fortunate I am and how nice it was to look up and see that going down the middle.
After you missed the first one and the second one was blocked, what was going through your mind?
Well, you know, they get paid too. They did a nice job on the second one, got some good rush, and you know, you just got to block all that stuff out from behind you, and when you get the opportunity, just focus, concentrate, and make the best out of every opportunity you can.
Tell me, how sweet is number 2?
It's just as good as the first one, maybe even better. You know what? It's amazing. You know, I'm just so happy that we got all these new guys on our team, the Rodney Harrisons and all these other guys, the Ted Washington said, didn't get to do it the first time, but they got a ring now too. It's awesome.
Thanks, Sam. Congratulations.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Back to you.
That's Sal Palantonio with Adam Vinatieri. Since seeding began for the playoffs in 1978, the AFC has sent its #1 team to the Super Bowl 13 times. The 2003 Patriots, just the 4th top seed from the AFC to win the Super Bowl, the first since the 1998 Broncos.
Still ahead on SportsCenter, chain reaction. TJ, Sean, what did you like? What didn't you like? Plus this.
We're going to have some fun breaking it down. Hang in there with us. Big plays coming up.
Snap, ball down, kick up, kick is on the way, kick is good! Kick is good! Adam Vinatieri from 41 yards away!
You see a trend here. You look at great defense, and you look at the end result when you see the W at the end of that name. Those are the top-scoring defenses since 1990 and how they fared when they got to the Super Bowl. And the Patriots continuing that trend, a trend that was started by the G-Men in 1990, the Packers, Ravens, the Buccaneers of last year. And granted, it wasn't great defense by the Patriots, but it was great defense that got them to this point. Time for chain reaction. TJ and Sean, your thoughts, guys?
And I'm going to get right to it. My surprise And I think the biggest surprise of the day, that the Patriots were able to run the ball better than the Carolina Panthers. You start looking at the numbers, I see 35 for 127 for the New England Patriots, only 16 for 92 for the Panthers. You knew if the Panthers didn't do a great job of running the football, certainly you would think they didn't have much chance of winning the game today.
But Tom, you couldn't be more correct. Now, my surprise goes to the Carolina defensive front. What a great job the offensive line of the Patriots did. Tom Brady drops back and throws 48 times, and you get no sacks. That's a major surprise on a defensive front that everybody said had to control the game and get penetration to win this game. They did not do it. Brady looked poised, composed. They moved the pocket. They didn't allow the aiming point to be the same, so Carolina couldn't tee off. Unbelievable job up front by the Patriots of stopping that great defensive front from getting one sack. None on Tom Brady.
Sean, Ted Washington controlled the middle like we've seen few dudes do. When I think about my disappointment, I go right to the fact that if you would have told the Carolina Panthers they were going to score 29 points against the team that's toughest to score points against, the New England Patriots, and that they were going to do it with Jake Delhomme throwing 33 times, 3 TDs, you would have thought, boy, we're going to win the football game. They couldn't do it because they couldn't match the offense of the New England Patriots. I was shocked that they were able to do what they did, score the 29 points, but boy, their defense let them down.
And Tommy, I felt if Delhomme threw it over 30 times, Carolina wouldn't win the football game. My disappointment's very simple. It comes down to the kicker. We saw what Vinatieri did on one side, John Casey on that side. You tie the game up, you got a chance, you kick it out of bounds. You cannot, absolutely cannot kick that ball out of bounds and give a New England Patriots team that's notorious for taking it down on final drives and putting the ball in the end zone and get the ball back to Vinatieri. You got to kick it to the end zone, you got to trust your coverage team, and you got to do what you're paid to do as a kicker. It's either kick it through the uprights or kick it out of the end zone, but you never, ever, ever put your team in defense in that kind of bind, Tommy.
Sean, my coaching move, I think, is a fairly subtle coaching move. With 59 seconds left in the first half of this football game, the score 7-7. Carolina feeling pretty good about themselves. The New England Patriots come back. Charlie Weiss, Bill Belichick. They don't sit on the ball. They answer that score. And I know that Carolina did come back and add a field goal to their own score, 14-10 at halftime. But the pace of the game had been changed. And now New England had you. Now use a little basketball terminology. You're no longer in the half-court offense. Now it's fast break, pressing offense. Certainly a game that New England's going to play a little bit better than the Carolina Panthers are going to play.
And might do it as good as anybody right now, Tommy. My coaching move comes down to not getting Deshaun Foster the ball more. We know the inside pound game of Stephen Davis, but Deshaun Foster can give you physical and finesse on the perimeter. And just like the offense of the New England Patriots are keeping Brady moving around, if you could keep a defensive guessing, then you got a chance. And he needed to touch the ball more out of the backfield, catch it, run it. This is a 25-touch type of guy. He brings everything you need to the table, Tommy. I thought they should have given it to him more to keep the ball out of Tom Brady's hands. Tommy, great job on chain reaction this year, and what a fitting end for this Super Bowl to end like it did with the last-second field goal. Stu, it's all yours, buddy.
Thanks, guys. You know, I'm tired of all these Joe Montana, Tom Brady comparisons. Joe Montana never scrambled for the longest run of the season and then jumped up and gave it one of these. Joe never tackled his own receiver after a touchdown pass, celebrating tackling the guy in the end zone. Joe was Joe cool. Brady, 26 years old, with the exuberance of a 12-year-old and the poise and pocket presence of Joe Montana. Brady's also a multiple Super Bowl winner like Joe Montana. All right, forget what I said then and listen to Sal Paolantonio.
Tom Brady has now joined one of the most exclusive clubs in the history of professional sports. Starr, Staubach, Greasy, Bradshaw, Plunkett, Elway, Aikman, Montana, now Brady. Only the 9th quarterback to win at least 2 Super Bowl titles. And at 26, he's the youngest to do so. Brady is the first quarterback to hoist the Lombardi Trophy twice in his first 4 seasons. Pretty nice start for a 6th-round draft pick.
That puts him at a pace where I think if he continues to win, that he's going to go beyond anybody.
In the end, everybody is compared to Joe Montana. Growing up in Northern California, Brady idolized him. Now he's compared to him. The ability to manage the game, the decisiveness, the accuracy, and the makeup.
Seems like he has that demeanor on and off the field, where he has a quiet type personality off the field, but you can see that he changes when he gets on the field. And he becomes a real competitor out there. And which, if you talk to him, you think, oh, it's not inside of him, and most people see that. But that's what you like to see. You like to see that fire for a quarterback to snap into something different than he is off the field.
It was that character that attracted Bill Belichick to Brady, who couldn't even crack the starting lineup at Michigan, where he was Drew Henson's backup. When another Drew, Bledsoe, was injured 2 years ago, Brady stepped in for the Patriots, and Belichick stuck with him, because week in and week out, he put the team in a position to win.
Brady steps up. Is he going to run? He's going to run into the end zone. Touchdown, Tom Brady.
I think those who are afraid that they can't do it feel the pressure more. And I think Tom has the presence enough to know his own ability and his capabilities in that situation. And it comes across not only on the TV, but to your teammates. And they know. You might be able to fool a lot of people, but you can't fool that group that's out there on the field.
Brady throwing end zone. Touchdown.
Brady is now the only active quarterback with 2 Super Bowl rings, a feat made more difficult by the current parity in the league. But with 4 picks in the first 2 rounds of the 2004 college draft, the Patriots are in a perfect position to continue this run, especially with a quarterback so experienced, yet so young.
He's got, 10 more years ahead of him. So if he does well in the years after this Super Bowl, he's got a chance to break all the records. And if and when he does, you got to put his name at the top of the list, because, that's why they keep score.
Only Troy Aikman won more consecutive playoff games to start his career than Tom Brady. Brady now a perfect 6-0, 2 Super Bowl rings in his first 4 seasons in the NFL.
Well, Brady wasn't the only quarterback who had a great evening. So did Jake Delhomme. Ron Jaworski here with the band of his merry men to show us sort of how these quarterbacks achieved the success in different ways.
Yeah, it really was a terrific game by both quarterbacks. And I love what Dan Henning did with Jake Delhomme. They went to their speed, no huddle offense. And what they wanted to do was get him in space, get the wide receivers in place. And what Jake was doing was manufacturing plays with his ability. What Jake would do is get back, and he would start drifting. He would start making movement, letting his receivers uncover down the field, and then find someone open. He did a terrific job of letting his receivers uncovered. As you can see, Michael Irvin did a great job of uncovering there. I thought Tom Brady was magnificent with the scheme of his offensive design. He would get back in that 3- and 5-step drop. Very good rhythm. The ball would come out. Charlie Weiss moved him a little bit on the perimeter to get him away from the rush. But most importantly, he moved wide receivers to create separation.
Yes,
Michael,
he did,
you know how
Yes,
that
he
is.
did. We talked all week about watching these wide receivers get jammed at the line of scrimmage. They knew that, so they said, let's move them. Not only will we move the quarterback, but we'll move the wide receivers. Hey, come on, Dan's going to play a wide receiver, and you're going to play a quarterback. Play it fairly, Sean.
I'll give him
I'm going to play a wide receiver. He's going to be the quarterback. Now watch it. I'm going in motion, and I want you to watch the pig play on the other side. Perfectly timed is to prevent him from jamming on me. Right. Give me the leg. That signals the motion. Right. Perfect time. Hut.
Set. Hut.
Go. And they time it. There's that pick right there. They did that route. They ran it over and over and over again. It was to get the receivers a free release, keep Tom Brady comfortable in the pocket. He sat back down, released the ball. They hurt Carolina with that play a couple times during the game.
For only the second time ever, both quarterbacks in the Super Bowl have 3 touchdown passes. A couple of guys named Staubach and Bradshaw did it together back in Super Bowl 13.
Sean and I aren't surprised, are we?
Always a Cowboy in there. Always a Cowboy.
Lots more to do on this Super Sunday Sports Center. 2 titles in 3 years, not to mention a 15-game winning streak. Move over, Wile E. Coyote. How this super genius brought another championship back to New England.
We're going to pay good money to come watch it after the play. They try to take over the game.
And believe it or not, that was after the Lakers won. Plus, LeBron goes wild and why AI wasn't enough to get the Sixers past KG. Bill is hot in Arizona, seeking only the second back-to-back championship of his career. We'll see if Lefty left it all out on the links. And we've got the super calls from Super Sunday.
He's closing up for Steve Smith, and he's got it! Touchdown, Carolina!
Super Sunday genius, Shaq, LeBron, AI, and KG. Filler Up, and Super Calls. Much more straight ahead. This is SportsCenter. We take time out from our Super Bowl coverage for a moment, but a subtle reminder, Sunday Conversation, Chris Berman will sit down with the Super Bowl champion, Bill Belichick.
We got some NBA hoops, Cavaliers, Wizards, Jerry Stackhouse. First time he's played this season, have some of that fade. Stack had 13, Wizards up 5. But third quarter, LeBron James went off. Kid had 22 in the first half, got righteous again in the second half, 19 in the third. I'm feeling you. On the day they played Super Bowl 38, LeBron had 38 points. First time a teenager has ever had 38 points in a road game in NBA history. Late fourth quarter, LeBron trying to get 40, misses there. Misses there, and then he's 19, got a little frustrated, throws his headband. Check this out. LeBron's like, I'm gonna be like Tom Brady and Jake Delhomme. Paul Stoddard's like, yo, look, chill, man. First career technical foul on LeBron, but the Cavs win 104-100.
Lakers road show continues in Toronto. Shaq and company arriving. First quarter, Shaq had 16 points. He was 6 of 8 from the floor. Third quarter, refs got involved in this one. Donyell Marshall will drive, and Shaq, is that a foul?
Didn't look like it.
Well, Shaq was whistled for the foul. Devin George will miss. Marshall grabs the rebound. Shaq reaches over Marshall, and then he's called for a loose ball foul. Third quarter, a questionable foul called on Gary Payton.
They just trying to wonder why the league is losing money. That's why. People pay good money to come watch these athletes play, and they try to take over the game.
Fourth quarter, Raptors down 4. Vince Carter had 27 to pull up for 3. 84-83 Lakers. Last chance for the Raptors down 1. And it's Carter. Carter upset with the officiating as well. His response to the no call, unreal, and then declined to comment further.
To golf now, final round of the FBR Open. Phil Mickelson looking for back-to-back wins. 14th hole, Jonathan Kay says, Phil, hold up, I got to drop this bird. Kay ties Chris DeMarco for the lead at 17 under. Kay had 4 straight birdies on the back 9. 17th hole, 358-yard par 4. Phil, being Phil, tries to drive the green. He hits the green, and it rolls off the green. Phil bogeyed 4 of the last 5 holes, shoots 1 over 72 on the last day. 17th hole. DeMarco misses the short par putt that would have kept pace with Kay. Instead, 18th hole, holla. Kay, $936,000 first place paycheck. Time now for the ultimate highlight.
The ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Will you believe?
You've got to be kidding!
Ultimate highlight. Brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you?
Still to come on SportsCenter, Adam Vinatieri, 16th career game-winning field goal. Did it 2 years ago, did it again Sunday nights. We'll spend some more time with the man who provided the game winner. And Chris Berman will provide his top plays and sit down with a Sunday conversation with Bill Belichick.
48-yard field goal attempt. Set to go. Snap, ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good! It's good! It's good! Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the game is over, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions!
And then, Super Bowl 38, Adam Vinatieri from 41 yards out, 9 for 9 field goal attempts this season in the fourth quarter, including that one.
Most people are never fortunate enough to even have the opportunity once. The fact that the guys played hard again today and had an opportunity to do it again, it's amazing. You know, it's hard to put into words how proud I am of the guys and how fortunate I am and how nice it was to look up and see that going down the middle.
I told Brady on the sideline, I said, you did a good job. So that's all you need to do. I said, it's over. He's going to put it through. Regardless of what happened, before that, he's going to put it through.
It was a great kick. It was an awesome kick. You know, we didn't do too well on the 2 earlier field goals that we missed, and there was a combination of things there. But, you know, again, that was the game, and that's what Adam's here for, and he came through for us big time.
Vinatieri made just 4 of 8 field goals at Reliance Stadium this season. However, 2 of those 2 were game winners. In Week 12, he made a 28-yarder with 45 seconds left in overtime. And then in Super Bowl 38, the 41-yarder with 4 seconds left to go.
15 in a row, second best run ever, second only to the perfect 72 Dolphins. But the Patriots' opponents are combined 22 games over 500 during their 15-game winning streak. That's better than the Dolphins' opponents in 72. Shawn Michael joining us again. Guys, what's the toughest thing about winning 15 straight?
Well, Stu, there's a lot that goes into winning 15 straight, but it'd be much easier to crawl 10 miles over broken glass and not get cut than to win 15 in a row. And winning 2 in 3 years, that's got to be a dynasty in this day and age, Mike.
Oh, slow it down, buddy. You're getting way ahead of yourself. Dynasty, I say not. This team has won 15 in a row, 2 Super Bowls in 3 years because of the lack of talent in the NFL. My team, the 80s, the San Francisco 49ers, they won because of talent on their football team. This is not a dynasty.
But Mike, championships aren't won with talent. I'm going to go you one better. I'm going to say that the New England Patriots could have beat your Dallas Cowboy team.
Sean, get out of here.
Stop. Let me finish. Talent. It's my time to talk.
You're killing yourself on TV right now.
You know what? Hey, don't get in the way of a good segment here.
Okay,
anyway,
get on.
The New England Patriots, with the talent that they lack, according to you, they still find a way to deploy the right play. If it was talent, there's every team that got into the playoffs this year in the AFC is more talented than New England.
And that's what you proving my point, though, son. You proving my point. That today's NFL is about coaching. Coaching makes all the difference in the world. That's why you can get a Bill Parcells and take a 0-100 team like the Dallas Cowboys and go 90-10 and get them in the playoffs. Today's team about coaching. You remember Jerry Jones' statement? Yeah, I can take any one of 500 coaches and win a Super Bowl with that talented football team that, I don't want to go into third person, Michael Irvin played on. I did it anyway.
You got to do me a favor. Do me one favor. Quit living in the past, because you know what? Neither you or I, Stu Scott,
well, we going on the past. That's how we judge the future.
Patriots are the Super Bowl champions, and Mike needs to take it back. You're out of your mind.
New England.
You are out of
You're
your
still
mind.
not a dynasty.
He's out of his mind.
And right now, although you can't see them, Dan, look, they're hugging over there.
That's a chokehold.
Oh, that's a chokehold.
That's a chokehold, I think.
I thought it was a hug. Hey, during this 15-game winning streak, Patriots only allowed Clinton Portis to bust them for 100 yards. I tell you what, they gave up 29 in the Super Bowl, still just allowed under 15 a game. I think the Patriots will show up in Boomer's top 10 plays of the week.
The New England Patriots, for the second time in 3 years, are champions of the football world. The Patriots, who did it by finishing the season with a 15-game winning streak. Last lost September. The Patriots, who had that long streak of not trailing in a game, never being behind, have rolled to one of the most impressive runs ever. Let's look back at the 2003 Patriots top 10 plays of the year. And we first salute the fans who, for 3 times especially, cold weather games, the championship game against the Colts, and especially the frigid temperatures in Eskimo up, and 10 below wind chill against the Titans, and the 2-foot snowstorm where half the seats were like that. The fans came out anyway in the Miami game, and when they scored touchdowns and got a safety, it was a snow confetti scene, one of the great scenes of the year. New additions, if you will. Rodney Harrison, washed up? I don't think Miami's Darius Thompson thought so in Miami in week number 7. And Harrison in the AFC Championship game. intercepted Peyton Manning, the first of what would be 4 picks for the Pats. And the Patriots were Super Bowl bound. Tyrone Poole, a new addition, caused the fumble by Tiki Barber of the Giants. Matt Chatham with the touchdown as the Patriots won 17-6. There's the hit by Poole. And the rookies made their presence felt. Asante Samuel from Central Florida. The bottling interception for the touchdown against the Jets in Week 3. Look, Ma. 2 hands. 23-16 the Patriots. The veterans of so many Super Bowl wars for the Patriots hardly slacked either. Willie McGinnis had his best year in several years. Touchdown against the Jets. And they fought the law, and the law won. The limping Ty Law sealed this regular season win against Tennessee with this pick of Steve McNair, despite the gift. 38-30, the Patriots had beaten the Titans for the first of 2 times during the year. The Bill versus Bill matchup. Parcells and Belichick used to work so closely together. And in this game, it was Tom Brady to David Gibbons on the Sunday night in Foxborough, beating the blitz, setting up a field goal. And then defensive players that Parcells sure remembered. McGinnis with the rush, Ty Law with the pick, and the Patriots and the hug of the 2 coaches, 12-0. 3 shutouts at home this year for the Pats. And Larry Ratso Izzo seals the final regular season win, 31-0. A U-turn from the 31-0 loss to open the year in Buffalo. Clutch Patriots. The last time the Patriots had trail was in Houston. And 3rd and 10, how did Tom Brady find Daniel Graham against the Texans? And then Brady to Graham with just seconds to go. On 4th down, tied the game. Vinatieri wins it with a field goal. And Adam Vinatieri's 46-yard field goal in the frigid temperatures against Tennessee. It's like kicking a boulder. Somehow, it went through. And the Patriots had won their first playoff game over the Tennessee Titans in yet another cold weather game. We warmed things up for plays 5 through 1 for the Super Bowl champion Patriots when SportsCenter rolls on. The Super Bowl Patriots, a 15-game winning streak. Only the undefeated Dolphins of 1972, 17-0, had a longer streak in the history of the NFL. But when you win that many games, you know, not all of them are blowouts. And in the Patriots' case, very few were. You remember some crucial games down the stretch. Like, how about the Monday night game in Denver? How good a game was that? And how brilliant was this strategy move? The Patriots, down by 1, call for the intentional safety. They figured they would never get in good field position, and Lonnie Paxton is so good that he actually hit the upright with the snap. So they punt down 3, they hold, get better field position, and wouldn't you know, Tom Brady to Gibbons. Touchdown with 30 seconds to go. Belichick's gamble, brilliant. They win 30-26. They disposed of Miami. The Patriots never win in the heat of Miami. But in October, Richard Seymour blocked a field goal by Olindo Mare in regulation that would have won it. Then Amare missed, and then later in overtime, Tom Brady to Troy Brown, and his been renowned. He could go all the way. 82 yards, 19-13. The Patriots win in Miami. And then the return in the snow. Week 14 in New England, Teddy Ice-Cold Bruschi with the interception, the touchdown, and the confetti celebration. 12-0, the Pats. How about Week 13 at Indianapolis? After the Colts pulled it within 7, just seconds left in the first half, Temple Bendell Johnson, 92 yards. He's going to go and give the Patriots a 2-touchdown cushion, which they would need. He does go all the way. The Colts come roaring back, and then the goal line stand, which meant the championship game would be played in New England, not Indianapolis. Edgerrin James on 1st and 2nd down. Bruschi at tackle on 1st down. Poole with the coverage on 3rd down, and then Ted Washington low. Willie McGinnis and company high. And the Patriots had stopped the Colts on the 1-yard line. They were 38-34. And so the championship game was held in Foxborough, not Indy. And they fought the law, and the law won. Number 24, Ty Law, won once. He won twice. And against Peyton Manning, the veteran. Ty Law, the veteran of 3 Super Bowls in 8 years, along with McGinnis, makes his 3rd pick. The Patriots are going to the Super Bowl winning 24-14. The owner Robert Kraft says we got one to go. 2 years ago, the Patriots stunned the football world. 2 touchdown underdogs as they beat the Rams for Bill Belichick 2017. Now as favorites. They didn't stun anybody by winning their 15th straight.
Here's Brady on play action, throwing, touchdown! On play action, Brady takes his throw, touchdown! Here's Brady to throw, he throws end zone, touchdown! Kick by Vinatieri is up, and it is good! It is good!
Many will remember this Super Bowl as one of the greatest ever played, if not the greatest.
College hoops fans who showed up to the Seton Hall Providence game in Patriots jerseys got discount tickets. Big up second half, PC down 11, Ryan Gomes represent. Tough bucket and foul. Gomes 28 points, 13 boards, but PC down 8. Late second half, Seton Hall up 10. J.R. Morris, mad block, and then Morris getting some bunnies with a Baduka dunk. A little bird told me that PC was good after they beat UConn. Not good enough this game, they lose. We still got a whole lot more to go in this special sports center. It's all over but the shouting. And, of course, a special Sunday conversation. Chris Berman sits down with Coach Bill Belichick to find out how they got it done. Sixers in Minneapolis, KG in no mood to play gracious host. Why a big day from AI was not enough to trap the Wolves.
And he got it! Touchdown, Carolina! Brady, play action, throws over the middle, touchdown!
More super calls from a real super day.
And I love the Super Bowl! And I love you too!
Super Sunday Belichick conversation. AI battles KG, calls of the wild, and a fat, super fine tune. Stick around. More Sports Center ahead. He released Lawyer Malloy, the heart and soul of the defense, before the season started. Got beat 31-0 week 1. Seems like 5 years ago.
Houston is the nation's 4th largest city and home to 4 million residents. Coincidentally, this Super Bowl comes down to the game's final 4 seconds, giving Bill Belichick his 4th Super Bowl ring. 2 as the Giants assistant coach and now 2 as the Patriots head coach. Bill Belichick sat down with Chris Berman for our Sunday conversation.
Look, you've been in football a long time, Bill. Were these 2 completely different games or seemingly till the end of the I mean, how much... There's no way you thought this could be a 32-29 game when you're 3 minutes left in the first half like that.
Yeah, probably not. I thought it would be a close game. I thought it could easily come down to the last possession, last kick, that kind of thing. Just, you know, because of the way I thought it was a very even matchup, but probably wouldn't have picked the score quite that high. You know, in the end, nobody could stop anybody.
What is it about a team that can win 15 in a row? First of all, if you're going to win 15 in a row, you know that they aren't going to say, okay, here, congratulations. You know you're going to have to sweat this out. But what is it? And now that you can think about what was in the bottle.
Well, I think it's just the whole team. There were so many different people that contributed. Just look at today, all the receivers, the backs, the offensive line did an awesome job. You know, you got guys stepping in. Russ Hochstein a couple of weeks ago wasn't even playing. The depth of the roster that Scott Pioli and the personnel department created, the guys coming back from injuries that the trainers and the weight coaches and the strength and all those people did. There's so many people involved. And you know, Chris, some of those plays that we had on that final drive were plays that go all the way back to minicamp. And you get into a situation and you call them and you execute them here in the Super Bowl and they end up helping you win. And so it's you just never know when it's going to be that way, but we had some of those today, and I think that's kind of been the way it's been all year.
Look, this is the obvious. You can't say enough about Tom Brady. I mean, It seems like the more the heat gets on, the cooler he is.
Well, we talked all week about trying to make sure that if the game was on the line, that we'd put the ball in his hands. We have a lot of confidence in his decision-making, his ability to read defenses, manage the game, you know, his accuracy. He did a tremendous job, like he's done so many times for us this year. And well, he plays with a lot of confidence, and I think our team plays with a lot of confidence when he's in there.
As the game unfurled and it changed dramatically, what surprised you the most, both maybe good and bad?
Well, I think that both teams are good defensive teams, but it looked like that we both ran out of gas a little bit and just didn't play as well earlier in the game and later in the game as what the two teams did earlier. We had some great field position early, and Carolina kept us out, and we were able to keep them from moving the ball. But the longer the game went, the more the offenses seemed to really, gain control.
A game like this, like 2 years ago, when does it sink in what you guys have done?
I don't know, not quite yet. I think we're still, really enjoying the moment. It's been a special year. Anytime you win 50 in a row, I mean, it's just unprecedented for me. It's an awesome feeling. But to culminate it this way, we're on such a high. I don't think we're going to have to get on the plane to go back to Boston.
No,
We'll just float along.
I don't think so. The red light special. Congratulations.
Thanks, Chris.
Champs 2 times in 3 years. In this day and age, unheard of. Bill Belichick wearing the crown again. Back to you.
Thank you, Boomer. Congratulations, Coach. Joe Gibbs already in the Hall of Fame, and Bill Parcells will soon be in there one day. Belichick now joins those two, as well as Mike Shanahan, as the only active head coaches with multiple Super Bowl titles and the 12th overall with 2 Super Bowl rings. For more on Belichick and, I guess, his place in history, let's go to Sean Salisbury and Michael Irvin, guys.
Thanks, Dan. You played with Jimmy Johnson, one of the good coaches, and has won a couple Super Bowls. Where does Bill Belichick fit in?
Well, he ranks up there as one of the best coaches to ever coach this game, especially nowadays. We talked about this earlier. Coaches are so important nowadays because this NFL is more scheme on scheme. You get a guy like Bill Belichick who can scheme a great defense, and today we watch him with a couple weeks off, scheme a great offense, couple extra plays in there, the direct snap, couple plays, throwing to the linebacker for the touchdown. He did a great job.
You know what's amazing to me? Remember when he was the head coach in Cleveland and everybody said, this guy can't coach, he's terrible, and wondered if he was ever going to get a second shot to be a head coach. Well, he's got that second shot, and the way he deploys it, I know this is the best X's and O's game planner in all of football. And while Parcells may be the best ever, right now, Parcells is chasing Belichick as far as coaches go in the current system in the National Football League. I don't think Bill Belichick's Super Bowl run's done because if I'm not mistaken, they got 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders,
right.
And you win the Super Bowl, something's wrong with that picture. And the way you do that, and a quarterback who's already won 2 Super Bowls, and they still got room to grow. Remember now, go back to this, Stu Scott, Roosevelt Colvin, the linebacker they got in free agency, hurt early. Wait till they get him back. Should be interesting in 2004 for these New England Patriots.
All right, guys, we appreciate it. Other news, CBS apologized for the ending of its Super Bowl halftime show when singer Justin Timberlake tore off part of Janet Jackson's top, exposing her breast. CBS spokeswoman said, quote, CBS deeply regrets the incident. We would like to apologize to anyone who was offended. Said NFL Executive Vice President Joe Brown, we are extremely disappointed. Some news and notes around the league, according to Chris Mortensen, the NFL delaying an announcement to make it official that Larry Fitzgerald is eligible for this April's NFL draft so as not to confuse the judge in the Maurice Clarett lawsuit with the facts involving an NFL ruling on Fitzgerald's status. Sources with the Miami Dolphins say Dan Marino having second thoughts about accepting a job last month as a Dolphins senior vice president of football operations, and Drew Henson nearing an agreement with the Yankees to release him of his baseball obligations, which means Drew might soon be coming to the NFL. Still ahead on SportsCenter, much more Super Bowl 38 madness. You will see some things that you will never see or hear before. Pump up the volume. Plus, NBA hoops. AI went at it with KG. Which initial guy came out on top?
Sunday Conversation, brought to you by Subaru, driven by what's inside.
KG and the Wolves, winners of 11 in a row at home, hosting the Sixers. Sixers up 82-81 fourth quarter, and watch KG with a nice dish to Oliver Miller. Oh, easy laying and worth another peek. 9 assists for Garnett. Later in the fourth, the Sixers up by 1. It's Garnett who had 32 points, 13 rebounds, put the Wolves up by 1. 10 seconds left. Minnesota, which made up an 18-point deficit, watches AI throw up 1, and it doesn't matter.
Back to the Super Bowl, and there's always a losing quarterback in the Super Bowl, but rarely one that shows the courage of Jake Delhomme. He started the game 1 for 9 passing, still threw for 323 yards, including 211 in a gutsy fourth quarter. But losing still tastes like 3-day-old curdled milk. Sal Paolantonio now with the first losing quarterback to throw 3 touchdown passes since Brett Favre in Super Bowl 32.
Jake, it was a difficult loss. Obviously, you guys fought real hard. What goes through your mind after losing a game like this?
You know, just all the hard work you put in, and now it's over. You know, you feel you ran out of time, but we didn't get it done throughout earlier in the game. But give New England credit; they're a great football team. I think you certainly had the two best teams in football playing tonight. We put on a good show. I just kind of wish I was on the other side of the rope and not roped off.
You guys really opened up the offense a lot, especially in the second half. Was that the thinking going into the second half?
No, not really. You know, it was only 14-10, and we didn't play well at all in the first half. It's just we started getting a rhythm, but once we got down 21-10, down by 11, we needed to throw it a little bit, and started to get great protection. Receivers are making great plays for me, and that's all you could ask.
Thanks a lot, Jake.
This was the first time in Super Bowl history that both quarterbacks threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes. The 6 combined TD passes, the third most in a Super Bowl. We got a quarterback who played the Super Bowl, Ron Jaworski. You know what it's like to lose. Tough. Jaws, what's the toughest thing about losing a Super Bowl?
Well, there's no question, Stu, that you worked so hard through the offseason, through training camp, the regular season, just to get yourself in a position to be a world champion. And there is no question that Jake Delhomme had a terrific football game. You know, he orchestrated his game plan very well. They didn't run the ball as effectively as they would have liked to. That put the burden on Delhomme to play very well. And he did play very well. But you know what? Right now, he probably feels good about his individual performance, but I'm sure when he wakes up in the morning, he's going to realize they lost their opportunity to be the world champions. Dan, I had that opportunity 23 years ago, and it still pains me that we didn't win in Super Bowl 15.
Thank you, Josh. Still to come, we pump up the volume. How did it sound in New England? How did it sound in Carolina?
He throws it up for Steve Smith, and he's got it! Touchdown, Carolina! Steve Smith beat Tyrone Poole down the far sideline. Perfect throw by Jake Delhomme.
So we will bring you Pump Up the Volume, but also on the way.
I love Super 38. Brady feeling great. The nightcap's on its way. Don't go away.
Here's the football! Coors Light Nightcap. Brought to you by Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL and Super Bowl 38.
I love blowing off the lid with Willie and the Kid. A Texas Jamboree with Nelly. I love winning in OT. Getting past Philly to win the NFC with He Hate Me. And I love you too. And I love you too. Here we go now. I love pounding Tennessee, then beating up Indy to win the AFC. With Tenacious D. I know Panthers on the run, Brady having fun, lighting up Houston with the win. And I love the Super Bowl. And I love you too. And I love you too. And I love you too.
Musically, that's how it sounded. Come on back and hear how it sounded from radio, guys, as we pump it up.
Close in the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Carolina! Ricky Prohl! Unbelievable! And let's kick the extra point.
Our coverage from Houston, not over. Monday night, join me, Playmaker, TJ, and Jaws as we break down every conceivable aspect of Super Bowl 38 live from Houston on a special edition of Monday Night Countdown, 7 p.m. Eastern.
And speaking of Monday, big Monday. Monday on ESPN, highlighted by 2 games. First at 7 Eastern, the defending champs take on the 8th-ranked UConn Huskies. 9 Eastern, Big 12 rivalry renewed. Missouri battles Kansas, all part of Rivalry Week presented by Cisco Systems on ESPN and ESPN2. Would like to point out the fact next year's budget will include a seat for Jaws.
Thank you very much.
Final thoughts.
Well, Super Bowl 38 dispelled another myth. You must run the football and stop the run to win a world's championship. That is so wrong. Today's game is now. You must have explosive playmakers, wide receivers, and quarterbacks that can manage the passing game.
Charles, there were a lot of myths dispelled today. We thought Carolina could only move the ball with the run. Jake Delhomme threw the ball all over the place. We thought New England would come in and throw the ball short and threw long, and they rushed the ball real well for over 100 yards. So, New England, congratulations for dispelling all those myths.
I'll tell you what's not a myth is that you got a quarterback who is Montana-like with the way he wins games. You got a defense that's in the right position and does all those things they're supposed to, and the best head coach, 2 assistant coaches, best overall coaching staff resides in Boston. That's the New England Patriots, guys.
And Tom Brady is still dreaming. I think Tom Brady's kind of hot.
He's hot. He's hotter after this one.
You know, the Patriots still have not lost a football game since September 28th, the last day of baseball's regular season.
Carolina Panthers, during the regular season, they won 7 games by 3 points or less. They lose Super Bowl 38 by 3 points. For the great people here, we say thank you as we pump up the volume.
Super Bowl 38 ready to get underway in Houston. Vinatieri into it with the right leg, and we're underway. No good. He missed it. Missed it right. Snap breaks the kick is blocked. And the Panthers have stopped the Patriots again. From behind, the ball knocked out of his hands. It's loose. It's covered up by the Patriots. Here's Brady on play action, throwing. Touchdown. Deion Branch. Downfield, he throws it up for Steve Smith, and he got it. Touchdown, Carolina. Steve Smith, and the Panthers are on the board. Play action, Brady takes his throw. Touchdown. David Gibbons. Smith driving off right tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. Draw play, Deshaun Foster running left at the 30, breaks the tackle, breaks another one at the 20, sideline 10, 5, Foster dives to the end zone, touchdown Panthers! Brady pumps, now he throws end zone, and it is intercepted. Nobody open, now sets up, deep downfield from Muhammad, he's got it at the 30, he's to the 20, defends the tackler, touchdown! Oh my goodness! Here's Brady to throw, he throws that down, touchdown! So the Patriots recapture the lead. And back to throw, look, floats it in the end zone, wide open, touchdown Carolina! Ricky Prohl! Unbelievable! Here's the boot. Oh no, it's out of bounds. Oh. John Casey can't believe what he just did. The snap from Kent is put down by Waddle. The kick by Vinatieri is up, and it is good.